We'll start with the stone materials that we have. There's different types of materials that you can use. The material that I'm going to use today is Mahogany Obsidian, which would be this type, which comes from Oregon. It's obsidian, and there's different types of obsidian, different categories, and a good example would be rainbow obsidian, which comes from Mexico. There's rainbow obsidian, snowflake obsidian, and there's also just regular obsidian, which would be this type here. So this is the most easiest. This is also known as volcanic glass. We have different materials here. We have some Georgetown Chert, also known as Flint. And this flint you can also use for what we call strikolite, or Chispa in Spanish. And you can start a fire with a high carbon steel. When you strike the tip using a sharp tip, to start a spark. You can use Georgetown Chert here. And there's two different types. Here's another type here. And there's other types as Limestone Chert. We have, we can also use quartz, and there's different type of quartz, and this is what we call sugar quartz. And we have Chalcedony Chert. Most of these chert materials we use for, I like to use for more of spear materials, because they're more of a harder and sturdy material. And here's another big example of what the chert looks like. Of a Georgetown Chert. It comes in a cobble. We also have Alabates Chert. And we got Mahogany Chert. Some of these materials you have to heat treat before you start spalding or if you start flaking, which you put into a fire. Cover it halfway with sand. We got Pedernal, which you have to heat treat also, and here's a bigger piece of Pedernal, what it'll look like. And here is a good example of rhyolite. Using the natural shape of a rhyolite, I try to make a knife out of it. And these are the materials that some flint knappers use, and there's different methods you can use to flint knap these. Some of the sources are located from a long distance, and some of these materials have been introduced by trading with other flint knappers.